Dan Illman might be a huge afternoon of racing at Old Hilltop on Saturday. Pimlico's got many stakes races, but the feature of the feature is the Grade 3 Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup. Let's take a look at this field. Grade 3, 200 grander. We are going a mile. The one Doppelganger is entered main track only. The 6 business model is entered main track only. I talked to Diane Marici, who trains the 8 T at 1. She says T at 1 is staying at Delaware. I talked to Jonathan Thomas, the trainer of the 4 Wolfie's Dynaghost. He's on the fence. So there could be lots of changes, Mike.
Yeah, we'll see how everything shakes out. If some of these horses don't show up, Dan, I mean, in particular, the 4 Wolfie's Dynaghost could really affect the pace of this race.
It certainly can. It's a great segue to our Timeform US pace projector. And remember to head on over to timeformus.com. After scratches are made official, this pace projector will automatically update. Right now, Wolfie's Dynaghost is expected to make the lead. If he's out, you have Smoke and Tea. Grand Motion's been making noise that King Vega's going to the front if this pace is slow. So I won't be surprised if he's up top going into the first turn.
Yeah, I looked at him that way also. Even if there are no changes in the race, I just sort of felt like the more you look at his recent races, the more you sort of feel like they want to be forward with this horse. And obviously, if the 4's a no-show here, it could really play to King Vega's advantage.
Doppelganger, the number 1, is entered main track only. And obviously, if this race is washed off of the turf, the Grade 1 winner is a big, big chance. We will move on to the 2. He's Pure Gold, a very likable Jersey bred and one with good tactical speed. A horse that can work out his trip under Paco Lopez. Now, for a brief second, it looked like the trip was going to work out great last time out on the Oceanport. And then he got stopped for a brief instant. I'm not sure it cost him the race, but maybe it did stop his momentum just a bit.
Yeah, it might have. I mean, it's certainly something that you could make a sticking point out of if you wanted to. I'm kind of on your side, Dad. I'm not sure that it really made that much of a difference, but maybe we're wrong about that. He certainly ran okay anyway. He got to win 2 starts back when they returned him to turf for the second start off the little layoff there. I think you kind of know what you're going to get when you look at this horse on paper. He sort of shows up. He runs that similar race just about every time. He can get good trips. That's a benefit to him in here. I don't love him, but he's far from impossible.
Highest distinction is the number 3. This horse has won 2 in a row, including the Oceanport. Let's watch that race right now. You're going to see him on the outside. He was 4-3 wide throughout for most of the way. You see down on the inside, He's Pure Gold had to stop and hesitate for just a second. I don't think it really made a difference. Highest distinction was best at the end.
That's what I thought too, and he runs pretty well in this race, and he wins it clear under the wire. He also was a pretty easy winner 2 starts back. He's obviously in good form right now, Dan. He's got a claiming past, but this new trainer has taken over, and she's gotten this horse good.
Wolfie's Dynaghost. He's the half to Sadler's Joy multiple millionaire on the turf, and it's nice to see he's finally starting to tap into his potential. He's good on synthetic, and he's obviously good on turf. Here's a win in an allowance race at Kentucky Downs last time out, and in this race, this is Wolfie's Dynaghost when he's at his best. He gets close to the pace. The pace here is legitimate. He's just better than these horses as the chalk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good performance. It is over that Kentucky Downs turf course, which I feel like you never want to get too excited when horses look really good on it, and you never want to get too down on horses that look really bad on it. But he certainly ran well in this race. I don't know, Dan, I'm a fan of this horse. I've never really gotten him right, despite his pedigree. I've always kind of thought he was a better horse on synthetic and even on dirt, which they don't even run him on anymore. I've never really liked him as a turf horse, but he certainly ran well in that last one.
What are you more surprised about concerning the 5 Cazadero? That they'd never stretched him out before this race, considering his pedigree. His dam's thrown some nice dirt route horses. Or that the fact that they're stretching him out right now when it seems like maybe his form's a little off.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm more surprised they never tried it before with him, because I actually don't think his recent form is as bad as it looks on paper. It's one of the reasons that I think he's interested in this race. They've never tried stretching him out, so maybe that's a bad sign. He's 5 years old now. But he got pretty good. He was okay on dirt anyway. He got pretty good when they switched him to turf, sort of middle of last year. And I think his form's a little bit dirtied up these last few races, particularly the race 2 back, Yielding Ground, where they went 7 furlongs with him. He ran way better than it looks that day. They were walking on the lead that day. They took this horse back to last. He sat there all the way. He really ran through the stretch. He had no chance.
And maybe stretching out, he'll show some of the speed that he did earlier in his career. He was never a blazer, but when he was a dirt horse early on, he could stay close to the pace. So maybe that's something Angel Cruz will have in the back of his mind. Business Model, the 6, is entered for main track only. He's coming off a 95 buyer win. He'd be interesting if this race comes off. But Smokin' Tea, the number 7, is likely to go favored for Shug McGahee. And this isn't really Shug's kind of MO. Coming back in 2 weeks. This horse ran really well last time out at Kentucky Downs, going a mile. He's right in the thick of this, turning into the stretch. It's a grade 3 race for $2 million. And Smokin' Tea is going to fight hard all the way in between horses and finish third, beating a half length.
Yeah, he runs well in this race. This is also it's at Kentucky Downs, but it's a better field than the one he's going to be facing on Saturday if he shows up on relatively short rest here. And I agree with you. I think he's the horse to beat if he runs in this race. He's been solid overall, but his recent races, his last 3 or 4 starts, they're the best races that he's ever run. And he comes out of a good performance. He ran really well when he won the Lure at Saratoga. He's the horse to beat in here.
And he's tactical. It's not like he's some one-run closer. He'll be sitting probably third or second early, and he does have the kick. T at 1 is the number 8. If T at 1 runs here, and the trainer told me earlier this week, we're going to run at Delaware. This horse did run very well last time out in the Kent. It was a race where he made a big early move into the pace and got run down by a closer from behind who skimmed the rail. 3-year-old against older, however, it's a big ask.
Yeah, they went long with him on soft ground last time. He did run well in that race. I can't say that I love the horse that beat him that day, but this horse did what he did. It was a fine performance. He's very lightly raced. He's not impossible if he runs here, but it sounds like he's not going to.
Graham Motion has King Vega, the number 9, and Motion's one of the best in the world off layoffs, and King Vega's another example. Last time out, his first start off an extended break, going a mile and an eighth. Forest Boyce gave this horse a great ride. Just got him on the lead, got him relaxed, and they were able to hold on for the dead heat. Now, Motion, I think, is not sure what distance is best for King Vega. He's usually running longer than a mile, so they're going to cut him back here, and they're going to try to use his speed, I would think.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, obviously, it makes a big difference if Wolfie's Dynaghost doesn't run here, Dan, because this horse could make the lead in that scenario. I feel like if Wolfie's Dynaghost is in here, his job just becomes way tougher because he's got to go shorter in here from the outside post, and he's probably not clearing Wolfie's Dynaghost to make the lead in this race. I don't know. I don't love this horse, but I do respect the races that he's been running. And if that 4 scratches, it makes him that much tougher.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the feature at Pimlico on a stakes-laden card. You're going with Cazadero. I like it. Cazadero's a multiple graded stakes winner, finally getting a chance to stretch out with plenty of stamina in the pedigree, and is going to be a big price.
Yeah, I just feel like he's going to be a fair price. And again, I just think he's in better form than it looks. So maybe he really will be a fair price in this race, Dan. I'm just going to take him. I'm hoping the field kind of stays intact because I think he's going to need a little pace to run at in here. But I'm going to take a shot with him. I think you got the horse to beat on top, Smokin' Tea. I put him second.
A little concerned about him coming back on such short notice, but he's faced some top competition, has been in excellent form. And again, in these situations, you trust Shug. The 3 has also been in good form. Horse that Lindsey Schultz, trainer, told me likes to stay on the outside in the clear. We'll see if that works out in this field. 5798 for Mike, 7382 for me. BWI Turf Cup at Pimlico on Saturday. Good luck.